What's going on, America and the world watching us on?
Hey,
there they are. It's Team Alabama and the Green.
I stole your whoop.
We are back, and obviously we're here to hang out with you guys for as long as you'll have us, but we are here to recap Season 27, Episodes 1 and 2 of The Amazing Race.
Best season ever.
Obviously, you know who we are. We are the Green Team.
We're Team Alabama.
Hey, guys.
We're not as popular, but we're here.
So Team Alabama is our favorite team on the race, so we asked them if they would come on and be a part of this and help add some flavor and help protect me from Diana.
Oh, we might help Diana. What are you talking about?
It's going to be the three of us against you.
Yeah,
I
figured that.
That's what it's going to be.
Justin, do you need protecting? Come on.
Mama D, you can do all the sticking up for him.
I'm good, Mama. All right, so Season 27, Episode 1 kicks off with a lot of people struggling to run through sand.
Dude, okay, I had no idea that's what we were starting that day. And they would, like, put you off a mile, and they're like, all right, just do about 4 or 5 times to us. And you're like, that's like 5 miles.
Yeah, after doing it twice, I said, oh, my God, we didn't even start the race. What the heck is this going to be like?
Thank you. And you remember when we were all in a line, and I looked around, and we weren't supposed to be talking. I was like, y'all, just walk. We're just walking through this.
I know, but the track stars in the front. I know, track stars in Texas are in the front sprinting.
Yeah, they got to look through on camera with their.
And they're yelling at me, control your breathing, control your breathing.
Sure, they're over here looking like the freaking Baywatch, and I'm running here looking like a seal on the beach.
I know, just and run. It's not easy.
So that's just the start of the race, and what you don't know is behind the scenes is somebody got even so tired they needed oxygen, but we won't even.
Okay, the thing was, when we saw that, though, it wasn't us, by the way. I saw that, and I was like, "Ooh, thank God, we're going to be the first out."
Yeah, I think they were so dehydrated from all the running on the beach and the heat.
Yeah, do it again. One more time. Do it faster this time. I'm going as fast as I can. All right.
It was a long way. They're like, you're just going to run from this post all the way down. See that? When you squint, if you really squint, you can see the graffiti wall. You're running there.
Yeah, so we were all exhausted before we even started the race. That's, but then adrenaline kicks in and everything is on. So I love the way they started the show this year. I love the intro. I love the way the setup was, the flashes, the smiles. I think they got a lot of character just from the intro.
I think so. I like
having the open star line. You know, they haven't done that many times, and this one they announced, and people got to come. So when we showed up, I didn't know people were going to be there. So all of a sudden, there's people with signs, and that's kind of cool to get you pumped up.
Well, we have a little secret. So
You're gonna tell them?
Yeah, the morning.
You were ahead of the game from the start. Like before the race even started, you were ahead of the race.
Listen, his homework. I'm telling you, it's all him.
So at the starting line, we're all there. You see the old racers, a couple old winners. You guys are at the starting line. Who are you guys looking at as your biggest threats right at the start?
I think it's hard to overlook both the Texas and the Trad Stars because you can just look at them and see that they were in shape, athletic, and ready to go. So just looking around, those are the two that I was really scared of from the get-go.
Definitely. I mean, we were standing next to Tanner and Josh, and Justin's 6'6", and they're both taller than Justin. So they made me nervous in the track stars. Just knowing they're track stars, I think, is always puts a little pep in your step when you have to run.
Yeah, you saw their thighs just ready to sit in there in perfect stance, ready to go.
I have the pheasants on one side, so I feel pretty good. Yes.
But when we were off to the races, and as soon as we started, it was the track stars and the dancers. Actually, the dancers beat the track stars to the cabs.
They're fast.
You know, who was last? We were.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, so here was our
step.
Was there any strategy for you guys, or you just we get there, we get there?
So really, it was just getting mom there. I was getting mom to the taxi, just get mom to the taxi. But when we got in the taxi, so we drove all the way to Mother's Beach. The child locks were on in our taxi, so we're trying to bust out the door, and it's locked. And our taxi driver's like, "What? What? The door locked? No, get out."
my God.
So Diana and
Run, run. I said, damn, James, I just ran 3 miles. What do you want?
So Diana and I, our strategy, we knew we weren't going to be the fastest, but we figured if we took the cab that was furthest away, it was the first one, and if they got out and blocked everybody in, we would be the first ones in.
Oh, that was real smart.
Good. That was real good.
That was the first bit of strategy that we had.
And everybody else in the line ran around the crowd, and we were telling them, we're like, we're going straight through. Like when he says go, park, and we went the crowd.
Did they park for you? Did they park?
Yeah,
they did park. They did. They did. They didn't think that we would really come, but I just wanted to say too about the public start. Did you like the public start because we didn't have to keep it a secret? Like everybody knew when we started, so we didn't have to come home and not tell anybody. Like people knew what we were doing, and that's kind of what I liked about doing the public start.
Oh, yeah. I loved it.
No, that was amazing for me. Just because when I came back, I was starting a brand new job like the day it got bad. And in my head, I was like planning on telling them, I was just going to Spain, just disappeared to Spain for a while. But, you know, that was nice because I got to come back and be like, hey, by the way, I was on the Amazing Race. I'll see you tomorrow at work. Bye.
Plus, it's like, for me, it's a natural, like, conversation starter now. So I think for you starting a new job and going in, you know, it's kind of like you're the cool guy. You're starting and you're on the Amazing Race.
You're the cool guy. You're the cool guy.
I don't know about all that now.
So on screen, they show us Josh and Tanner say they'll use their flirtation to get ahead. Adam and Alex talk about one's a jock, one's the theater kid. Team Alabama comes on talking about their mom and son working their relationship to get back together. Jasmine and Danielle, the heptathlon stars. They are track stars. You got Logan and Chris, the paparazzi. Krista and Tiffany, cheerleaders who say are very smart. That's what they say right from the beginning. And this is a live start for the second time in the history of the Amazing Race. And I think it was definitely something that they should continue to do. I think live starts bring a lot.
Let the TNZ girls out. Come on.
Not yet. He's going in the order of the TV show.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's a little slow.
Racers are sitting there at the starting line. Phil tells everybody that we're going to Rio. Everybody gets all excited, and then we find out we're heading to a bike race.
Wait, can I just say, I didn't like that he told us we were going to Rio at the starting line. I wanted, like, part of the fun is ripping the clue and finding out where you're going first thing. Like, he not spoiled it, but
trying to build some excitement. But yeah, I kind of understand. Ripping that clue would be fun.
It's like, all right, and now I got to do a bike race and then think about going to Rio.
So Phil tells everybody we're going to get into this bike race, and the winner of this bike race will get on the first plane heading to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and everybody else will be on the second plane, which takes off 30 minutes later, and the winner of this leg will get the express pass. So.
That express pass is what you want. So like everything that Phil was talking about, like I was just like, all right, that's cool. Express pass. Express pass. You need the express pass. Everything else is like, okay, whatever, yeah. And that doesn't break it.
So you're a big fan of the show. I'm a big fan of the show, and we both want the express pass really bad. But if we think about it, the express pass hasn't been that beneficial in the series because usually the person who gets it doesn't ever really need it, and they very rarely use it when they need it. So it's just like they use it when they have to use it. So I know what you're saying.
It's a game changer. No matter, you know.
I do think Dave and Connor would disagree with you at that. Because if you remember them, they had the Achilles tendon, had the express pass, went from like what, pretty much at the back of the pack all the way to first and held there first with an broken Achilles, ruptured Achilles. Can't even talk. I'm not a doctor, I swear. Ruptured Achilles.
It's like a ligament somewhere in the ankle, so I don't know.
He just wrote something real bad.
But yes, it definitely does benefit some people, that's for sure. So dancers and the track stars are the first people to get to the cab. Then we hear from Kelsey and Joey as they start their amazing race with the newscast, of course.
I will say, I loved hearing them say that, though, because I finally figured out how to say his last name, Butuda. Like, I never knew how to say his last name.
I thought it was Butina.
I thought he said Butuda. I'm sorry. I don't know. That's a weird name.
He did say it.
Butina, I think it's Butina. You think it's Buchata. I think maybe it's a southern.
Everybody, thanks so much for joining us here on The Amazing Race. I'm Joe Butina.
And this is when we first meet the TMZ girls, and our first, obviously, conversation with the TMZ girls, and they're already talking junk.
So they were talking smack before anything even started. Like, they haven't even met anybody and they're talking smack.
But I got to take up for them. That's what they do. That's what they do for a living. What else do you expect?
Right.
So you think they should get on TV and mess with the people that they're supposed to be racing with? They're supposed to
but none of us saw any of that. Like, they're doing their junk talk. That's what they, like Denise said, that's what they get paid to do. That's why they're there. They're there to junk talk. You know, they don't know us yet. I think after they got to know us, they wouldn't talk about us.
I still feel like if the joke was funny, I could have laughed at it.
The dancers, the TMZ talk junk, and then the dancers start talking about being homeless and using dance to make some money and feed themselves, make better for themselves. What did you feel when you saw the water bikes?
At this point, we were just trying to get out of the taxi. Like I said, our taxi was like child law, so we're just like, we can't get out of this taxi. We're going to be like eliminated because we're the first team that can't get out of the taxi.
The funniest thing that they didn't show is when we first get to the bikes, Justin tries to like jump on the bike right away instead of pushing it out into the water and then starting to pedal. So of course, like, he sits right on it and you go right to the bottom of the sand. And I'm like yelling at him to push it out into the water. And he tells me he didn't want to get his shoes wet. Amazing race, and you don't want to get don't even.
I hesitated. I didn't say no. I just hesitated. That's why I jumped on, because I didn't want to get my shoes wet.
You don't want to get his shoes wet.
If I didn't have to.
I'll take that for you a little bit, because at first I was a little taken aback too, because the race, you're like 30 seconds into the race, you're like, I don't want to get my feet wet. Little do you know, like, by the end of it, you're like, whatever.
Both had spare shoes, so come on, the shoes for him is no excuse.
It was a couple seconds. Jeez, I hesitated.
You sure you want to do this?
Yes, I do.
Right.
So we get on these bikes, and what you don't see on the show is that Chris and Logan were probably on the bike that was closest to the left, I guess. And when they got on, there was a flag and a flag waving. There was also an arrow that pointed to go ahead, and it was on a dock. A big arrow pointed straight, and Chris and Logan were the first ones to get there, and they got off. And they jumped on this dock and ran up. And, like, every team started following them.
One of our rules, too, was, be leaders, not followers. So we kept looking. We're like, oh, my God, do we go? Do we go? And we're just like, you know what? We have to start paving our own road. We can't. And that's why you guys,
that's
we're
why
so
we
close.
got off. Because when we got on the bikes, we saw, like, we were so far back. We were just getting our bikes in the water when they were all running at the docks. And I thought two things. I was like, there's a giant arrow that's pointing forward. And number two, I'm a bike race that's like 30 seconds. It was literally like just a hop across the pond.
Great competition.
Yeah. We were kind of going, and I kept telling her, just look back and make sure they don't grab a clue. And then we were slowly going, and it was us in Texas. And then when we saw Chris and Logan coming back, we just started pedaling. And that's when Texas went a little too strong, and they broke their
Booyah!
Little too much
lead muscles. Should have left off leg day, 1 or 2 days.
Don't start.
There's lots you said that they didn't show.
But no, after Texas rode, that's when Mom and I got the breakaway, and it was just essentially y'all and us on the bike ride.
I didn't see anybody else except you guys. And when me and Diana were going, I was like, okay, let's switch. Diana jumps on.
I think I rode it for 3 minutes. And then I was like, nope.
That's better than she did. She did for 30 seconds.
Okay, me too.
I was doing it the whole way.
Myself.
I was like, I can't. I was like, I need just a small brace. And she jumps on the bike and went, it's like, your turn.
Me too.
That's exactly what she did. I'm like, forget it.
I can't do this.
So we get to the docks. She jumps off, and I'm trying to get off, and my legs are wobbling like this, and you guys are right behind us, and she's running off like, Justin, come on! And luckily, we're not one of the teams that fell into water.
No.
So we get up there, and we beat you guys by like 20 seconds, 30 seconds max.
It was real close. I did a lot of energy. Like, I'm usually not that good, but I feel like a lot of people are looking at Mom and me as like some weak competition. So I want to kind of put a little bold stamp saying like, we're not the greatest, but we're not pushovers.
Yeah, see, that's what
we couldn't beat y'all. We tried. We tried to beat y'all. We couldn't.
But ultimately, we wish you would have. I mean, that right there changed the whole race for us. From that point on, that changed everything. Getting on that first.
Kelsey said it too. Like, to be you know, on the second plane with 10 or the first plane with 1, you know.
Yeah.
And I said the same. I had the same thought. Like once that was over, and once the adrenaline kicked down, I got in the cab, like to the airport. I looked at Mom and went, you know, it's probably better that we are with 9 other teams.
No, we were like, oh my God, this is so great. We're by ourselves. I mean, we were like living it up. We were just, we didn't think of it at all. Oh, no, I did say it a couple times. I did say, oh, Justin, we're not getting to meet anybody. Oh, we're not meeting anybody, Justin.
Let's stay in first.
You weren't worried about it, were you?
We'll meet up with you guys later at the pit stop.
At the finish line.
So you're at the finish line. Okay, so as soon as Team Texas breaks their bike, the intro kicks in, and this is one of the few times you're going to see it this season. So enjoy it.
It's so sad that whole day of like filming that 40-second video took a day to film, and it was only there for like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, it was very disappointing, but they did show the intro and comes back to Texas laying down, paddling with their hands.
Backwards.
But notice everybody else started paddling with their hands too.
But everyone else thought it was a strategy. They're like, oh God, Texas is doing it. We should do it too.
Like, wow, man, they're really into the game. They're really into this race.
They know how to do it. Using that upper body. So Green Team finishes first, followed by Alabama. TMZ finishes in third. Whoop, whoop, what? Track stars right behind them. And in the last 3 places, you got the dancers, the cousins, and Team Texas finishing in last because they had to pretty much paddle their way to the dock.
6 teams fell in the water. I counted 6, at least 6.
So
I don't.
Cousins, Trad Stars, Chat Attack,
Enoch and Jen. I think they both fell. I think Enoch fell in first, and then Jen
Jumped
you know,
he sacrificed.
So, but I don't know how people like tried when they were so far from the dock.
Like, did they not realize like once you stop, you can't start pedaling again? Like it was like they thought like once it touched the dock, the bike was no good.
I don't know.
I don't know. But it made for some fun TV. Definitely made for some fun TV.
I guess my favorite was Check Attack. Man, he did good. He busted good.
He busted it good.
There were a couple people that you could tell, like, you know, thought that they were going to make it, and then right after they left the water bike, they knew and just fell right there.
Bless their hearts.
Big shout out to Schiller. Those are the bikes that we rode. They're awesome bikes. Here we go. Green Team wants the express pass badly, talking in the taxis. TMZ is in the taxi again, talking junk on the way to the airport. So the very few times that you do see TMZ so far, they are just talking junk.
Yeah, like they never talked about why they would be good or what they're bringing to the race, what skills. It was more like we're just mean people, and I
it's a little disappointing.
I didn't get to meet them really, so.
I swear at one point in time, I remember one of them being like, we're super good at puzzles. Like, we're a puzzle, like, just people. I swear at the airport, one of them said that.
50-piece puzzles.
You know they didn't get that on recording because they would have played it. They would have definitely shown that. We're really good at puzzles, 3. Okay, we'll find out. We won't get there.
But you know what? They are really good at throwing shade.
They are. They're definitely good at throwing shade.
Whatever this means. Like, take it down.
Hey, do you think their co-workers gave them smack?
Oh my gosh!
Sure.
Wait, TMZ to see if they would talk about it, but I don't think they ever talked about it.
Oh really?
We're like recording, starring. Yeah.
There is some shade, but I'm gonna save it for later that I remember because I remember some stuff from TMZ, like when the winners got like photographed at a club. They zoomed out to like the TMZ staff and they had 2 giant arrows pointed at Kelly and Javon. It was like first eliminated, like flashing lights on them.
That's awesome. So the teams arrive in Rio de Janeiro and they have to head to the Lagoa helipad.
Wait a second, back up. What? On the airplane, I see Chris and Logan had the last seats in the airplane. And for a flight to Rio, that's horrible. They don't even go back. I didn't
think about that. What? Oh, they had like the seats that you can't lean back in.
Oh,
that was just so. I saw that and I was like, oh, I wouldn't wish that upon like my worst enemy to be in the last row. All
I do
right.
remember this. We had the great seats. You know, like the seats that are like in between first class and like the back, the ones that have like the extra leg space and like lean back really forward. That's
We
the
had
seats that we
that
had. We
We had
so
good
lots up.
So the team
We had a lot of room to dry our shoes.
teams land in Rio de Janeiro. Green team's supposed to have a half-hour lead, but our flight is late, and the other flight is early
Fog.
because of fog. It's
Fog.
late because of fog. And we kept circling and circling, and they actually said, we're running low on gas. If we have to circle much longer, we're going to go to another city and land, and that
Yeah,
would
they
have
were
been
going to
the
go
end
to
of the
Sao
race.
Paulo, and we'd be done. So
If they landed in Sao Paulo, we never would have gotten to know the green team.
Wow.
from first to
We probably would have
eliminated.
still caught TMZ, though.
Justin, were you panicking?
See, I mean,
It's
it
4
did take them
hours.
almost 4 hours to do the puzzle. So
You never know.
did you know if they were like 2 hours into the puzzle and we get all right.
All right,
They
let's.
finished. They finished,
But
y'all.
it took them 4 hours. Like,
My students were really, because we watched the first episode and they were really proud of TMZ that they never give up. So they did, give them that.
Yay, TMZ.
All right, we didn't get there yet. Okay, so
Yeah.
we land, and the teams are fighting 5-minute lead, and we get in a taxi, and right behind us we see Shack Attack get into a taxi. How long was the ride? About 30 minutes?
Probably,
About a 30-minute ride to the beach.
To the helipad.
To the helipad. I'm sorry, about a 30-minute ride to the helipad. When we get to the helipad, we see, for the first time in a long time,
No, yeah, go ahead.
fast forward on the first leg of the race. That really
fast
hasn't.
forward.
So you get there first.
You're us.
You're us.
What do you
Shack
do?
Attack. When you're at the thing, opening it, you see Shack Attack pulling up. So what do you do?
Wait, they didn't show this, but you know how they have the numbers on the clue stand?
Yeah.
I got so excited because it was the first time you see numbers. I ran to grab the one and the whole number system. I ripped the whole number system off the clue holder.
Just blew
So I'm
it off.
trying to stick it back on. So we did have number one. But what would you guys have done? Would you have gone for the fast forward or
Okay, James Earl, knowing my son, we would not have, because he told me weather dependent, nothing would happen. He said no.
And that was one of the things I talked to her, I think, before the race. I was like, if there's anything that says weather dependent, we're just going to avoid it. Completely avoid it, at all costs. The only way we would do it is if we had to do it.
Right. Well, we watched it back and it was pretty funny because, Justin's reading the clue and I opened my mouth to say something and he's like, yep, we're going to do it. And he just starts walking away and I'm like, and you see me.
We saw you look up.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, I guess we're going to do this. So I didn't even get a chance to say anything. And he was like, we're going to do it. So in hindsight, I asked him because he ended up saying it was the smart decision. And I'm like, weather dependent. I mean, was it really the smartest thing? We were in first. We had the first number, first helicopter ride.
In
that was
hindsight,
the smart decision.
in hindsight, yes. But
Justin.
for this leg, you're
It was
first.
bid, risk, bid, reward. I did it, Justin. I did your mindset. It's bid, risk, bid, reward. But because if y'all hadn't gone and the shots had come and they're like, oh, we'll do it, and they drone up there and it was perfect, and they just twiddled their way down to the mountain, they would have gotten the express pass. So I mean, I did it. I think our mindset was a little different in that first sled than y'all's were. Y'all were ready to dominate, and one of Mom's and I's first 3 goals were don't get eliminated first.
Yes.
Not y'all, okay? This was Justin's strat. I just didn't want to go home. So for me to be in first, to do the first helicopter ride, to just get it done first would have been, I'm slow and steady wins the race. And he's like, oh my God, I'm on the Amazing Race. We got to do the fast forward. Let's go. I mean,
But Justin, my big question, the super fan that you are, you knew better with the weather dependent. Did you not?
No, it's
Yeah.
only twice in the history of the race did weather stop something from happening. It's
But-
27 seasons.
but my point was, how many times has there been a weather dependent fast forward that teams have refused on because they know better?
100% of the time.
Yeah, see? And my other thing is us having the airplane difficulty and having fog. That should have been another forewarning of
We did check the weather. When he said weather depending, I looked up at the mountains. The trees in the mountains were not swaying.
He can't.
What?
Justin,
We know your mindset.
No,
we
you
know.
don't.
You're trying to say why it's still the right decision, and it was the wrong decision. Let's move on. What's next on the list?
So green team.
You're not going to win this one.
Yeah. See, and he just thinks if he keeps talking, like you'll agree with them.
No.
I mean, I won't be like. There's many times I'm going to give you credit for a lot of stuff in this race. Like, as we recap this, there's a lot of stuff. This one is not one of them.
Thank you.
Okay, so obviously the green team goes for the fast forward. Cindy and Rick jump on the helipad, followed by Alabama. You guys were third, right?
Yes.
We got Alabama third, by Texas, and then in the end on the pad was cousins, dancers, and cheerleaders. Green team is sitting there happy in the cab, heading to the fast forward, and that's when we get out and speak to
Capitan.
El Capitan. He shows us the red flag, basically saying, danger, danger.
It's funny how there's like, come on, can't you see? No, the weather's not good. It looks beautiful. I mean, I will give that you looked around and you're like, all right, it looks beautiful for hang gliding.
How long were y'all actually there?
Like, not even 5 minutes. Not even. We talked to the gentleman for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and then we got back in the cab. We came in, and we're like, take us back. And the guy looked at us like, back where we just were, and we said, yeah, you got to take us back.
It seemed longer than that, though, on the show.
But it was travel, right? Y'all traveled a long way.
Like a half an hour ride from the helipad to hang gliding, and then probably 45 minutes the other way because there was an accident. There was, traffic in the tunnel. I mean, it was just...
It was stuck in this tunnel, and it was not moving, and then you see, like, cops going by, and I'm like, oh, my God, it's an accident, we're dead. They don't show that, but that's obviously when you see me start breaking down and crying, thinking that, hey, we've waited so long to be on this race, our super fan knows everything, hey, Mr. Know-It-All is going to lose it in the first, and that's exactly what I didn't want to
my
have.
Stoic face. I'm like, I'm staring at him in the cab because... Part of me, yes, I feel how he's feeling. And then the other part of me is like, get yourself together. Like, oh my God.
My favorite part was, don't cry.
Oh my God. My favorite part is just like, they didn't show up, but I slapped him. I'm like, get yourself together. I'm like, here, me, I cry for everything. I'm like the most negative person you could possibly, well, maybe not the most negative, but I'm very pessimistic. And here's Justin, like, just like quietly, crying. And I'm looking at him like, oh my God, like, suck it up. What, like, stop.
That's the one thing. And I just, like, it was a little too early in the race to realize this, but you really never know when you're out. Like, you never know where you are, like, anywhere. Like, you can be first or last and have no idea.
You said that. Like, if you're by yourself at any point, you don't know if you're first, you're last, or you're lost. And we said, all right, we're either first, last, or lost, and this time we weren't last.
I just wanted you guys to meet the third member of the green team.
On this side. I know it's on this side.
Backwards here. The third member of the green team right there.
I do gotta say, I felt a little sorry for you when you were in the cab. I did.
Watching back.
Oh.
Koopy. All right.
Can we do a recap show? So let's get back to Mama feeling bad. No, a lot of people didn't cry. But you felt bad.
I felt bad for you when I was watching it, and I had a little tear in my eye for you. But then I thought in the back of my mind, that's what he gets.
So the green team spends all their money just to get back to the helipad, and that's when we cut to Shack Attack, getting the question right. Christ the Redeemer. What is the big statue? It's the big statue known as Christ the Redeemer. If you don't know that, it's just ask anybody around you. So it was a pretty easy test.
We didn't know it.
We had to ask somebody. We didn't know it straight off the bat when we got there. Like, I knew what they were going to ask me, and I was like, crap, what is that called? And I was like, it's Christ something. So I had to, like, look up at someone. Like, there's people up top, and I was like, what is that thing called? What is this called?
I know 2 things about Brazil. The Capitol and Christ the Redeemer's statue. And they have nice beaches.
There's footage somewhere of, like, when we're going to the airport, they're asking me, they're like, what do you know about Brazil? And I was like, oh, that statue. What's that thing called? I said, I forgot what the statue is. Little did I know. I should probably look that up.
I figured somebody as smart as you would know that.
I forgot.
Oh, you're smart, bud.
Yeah, all right. So Shack Attack is the first one to decide on which detour to take. Would you take sand or sidewalk? Sand, you have to play foot volley, which is volleyball, where you play with everything but your hands. You play against foot volley professionals. They have to score 18 points before you score 6 points. If you score those 6 points, you win. Or you can go to sidewalk, which is basically a slide puzzle of the floor that you're standing on. Obviously, we know which ones we would pick.
Surprise! Who would know? Who would think?
So you guys had no hesitation. You just went straight to puzzle.
Yeah, once it's all puzzle, I was like, we're doing puzzle. Like we knew, like we had no hesitation.
Now, do you,
No, kidding. James Earl used to do those little puzzles.
We didn't know what type of puzzle it was. Like when you were reading the clue, we had no idea. It was like just do a puzzle like by the sidewalk.
Yeah.
That's why. Like I thought it was going to be like a jigsaw puzzle. Like okay, that's why we did it. And then I'm like, oh,
slide puzzles. We get there, and I'm like,
oh.
And then she has a hard time. We eventually switch, but we'll get to that.
How long did you work on the puzzle for? Oh, we'll get there.
Like yeah, I was gonna say
No, like 10 minutes.
Yeah, not even. It's like,
So the dancers do some research. This is when they show the dancers doing some research, and a lot of people were giving them crap because they were sitting there studying, doing some research. But let's fast forward a little bit. They wrote all these notes down about the map, and eventually it's one of those notes that got them to the next clue.
I mean, it was smart. Like they were standing in line. What else were you supposed to do? Like that's all you could do at that moment. So I mean, I think it was a smart plan.
well, plus you didn't know what you were looking for. They just said please answer question. So
And
Yeah,
then
can we talk about the airplane ride? Like the helicopter ride is super cool. Like if you're doing it for fun. But I don't know, Joe, the whole time that you were going, they were just like, look for your next clue. So Mom and I were like looking left and right, and I was like, just keep looking for something orange and red.
our guy didn't say anything.
he wouldn't say a word.
And we thought we were in last place, so it was so hard to like enjoy it. I'm like, oh, look,
And we're like,
it's beautiful.
Looking for red and yellow stripes
Yeah.
on the beach, and then you see those red and yellow beach stripes from the place that we're gonna go. You see those, but that's not what we're looking for.
Like once we circled Christ the Redeemer, I knew what we were going for, but that was so late in the helicopter ride that I was just like panicking the whole time. Just like, I don't see anything.
Yeah.
You don't get to understand. You don't get to enjoy it as much as you would like to. That's for sure. But that's when we cut
I
to.
think we enjoyed it a little bit more. Y'all were stressed.
Definitely did.
Yeah, I guess so.
It was my first one, and I was like, this is fun, but I think we're in last place, and I got to be looking for something.
And that's when it cuts to one of my favorite lines of this episode, where Kelly from Team TMZ wants to give Christ the Redeemer a high five, yo. I don't know. I just like that part.
Yeah.
This is where we see the Shacks, and they select volleyball, and Rick Shack loves his white shorts. Cindy hates them, and actually, they don't select volleyball. They select the puzzle.
Yeah.
Rick Shack and his white shorts are notorious, and they will eventually become something of legend for the season 27 cast.
Those bathing suits, though, can we talk about like for a week, all we did was sit and eat. That's all we did for a whole week is just sit and eat. And then they're like, you're racing now, wear these tiny little white bathing suits. So every ounce of fat to be shown to the world.
I like spent 2 weeks shopping for a bathing suit because I'm like, okay, my students are going to see me in a bathing suit. It has to cover
I did the same thing.
And then we get there, and you got to change in this pop-up tent, okay? And then I'm putting on the bathing suit. I'm like, it barely covers my butt. I'm, trying to cover all the parts, and it was just, why the heck did I shop for 2 weeks? 2 weeks just for the bathing suit. I got to put this on.
We found her a swimsuit that was literally like a surfer swimsuit, so it went from like neck to like knees. And she's like, I'm 50 and don't want to be on TV in a two-piece.
I said, got to be shit me. I got to put this thing on.
Still the white bikini.
You look great in the white bikini. You didn't have you didn't have the comments that I had. People call me the guy from Powder because I was as white as my white shorts and I'm bald. They said I had man boobs. I had a lot of problems just from that one running. When you see me running, bouncing up and down, you don't see my beautiful thighs, the nice ripped thigh muscles. Nobody sees that. You just see the fat belly and the big boobs bouncing.
His big boobs.
It was an episode of Baywatch Geriatrics.
Focus on the thighs next time you watch it.
Well, at least you didn't have somebody post your butt crack on anything.
I wish I looked as good as you in that white bikini.
No, they had to blur. They blurred his butt crack.
They blurred mine.
Crack was showing in Argentina, and they had to blur it out.
All right, so let's get back to Brazil, where the Shacks start the puzzle. Team Alabama shows up right behind them, starting the puzzle right after them. And that's when we see Alex, and another one of the funniest scenes of this episode, where Alex is gripping the seat, and Adam is sitting there making fun of him.
I mean, those two are just such characters. Like, just living their life. I don't even think they were trying to do anything. They were just living in that moment. And they're such characters.
Yeah, I love them. They were definitely one of my favorite teams on the race. I wish they would have had a lot more time to play around.
They only got 2 legs.
They only got 2 legs. We all only got 2 legs. So that's when we see Team Texas playing some foot volley. The track stars playing some foot volley, and it cuts to Bama. James Earl talking about doing puzzles as a kid. Let's talk about some puzzles as a kid.
So tell me about your puzzle doing. So that would be like your treat?
No, literally, like, if I made a happy plate for dinner, most kids did ice cream. She'd be like, "Here's your puzzle. Now go your puzzle and go to sleep."
That's a good mom. Like, I'm a teacher, and I don't even have kids. And like, my kids are just going to learn all day. It's all they're going to do. So I got to give a point for mom, because look, it did.
But no, and when I was growing up too, there was a special class they put me in. I was in a special class, but literally all you did was puzzles one of every 5 days of the week.
Those are good special classes.
No, it was a good special class, but literally, so 8 hours a day, once a week, I just did puzzles like that, just constant, straight. So that's why I'm really good at puzzles.
James Earl got to do puzzles as a treat, and then we cut to Rick Shack, where he's sitting there doing the puzzle, kind of talking down to Cindy. And
I didn't like Rick at this point. I'm going to be honest. I didn't like the way he talked to Cindy.
Yeah. No, I did what she was saying because I've seen it. I've been in the OR with surgeons before, and that's how they have to be, in an operating room, because someone's life is on the line. But, in real life,
well,
he always said honey.
Go ahead, Denise.
He always said honey or something. He said something in there.
And that's the thing, is he said it very, very, I don't even want to say direct. It was very almost professional, no, you can't do this. I have to do this here. I have to do this here. And the only reason that I was upset about him is he's forgetting that that's his teammate. It's not no, don't do that. It's almost giving her direction on how to help. And that's where we struggled. I know I'm jumping ahead, but when we tried to do the puzzle together, that was the hardest thing. It's almost sometimes there is no room for 2 people to do something like that. It's either somebody sees it and knows what to move, and the other one just stays out of the way.
And that's what happened with us. I actually cut Mom's hand open on the puzzle. Did y'all know that? Did y'all notice there was one puzzle covered in blood?
Yes, we did see that. Not picking up.
I thought you did that to write numbers. You wrote 1, 2, 3.
Just rip her hand open to write the numbers. No, because the wood pieces, I pinched her in one of them, and I didn't see it for a while, so I'm still working. And I'm like, why is there blood on this? I was like, are you bleeding?
And I knew I was, but if I showed him, he'd go, "Are you okay?" So we just didn't go on.
Start doing stitches.
That's when I stepped back. That's when I stepped back and let him have it.
Well, yeah, I mean, Justin was trying to help, and I'm just you almost just stay out of my way is the best way to help. Let's
fast forward through this. The track stars talk about being very competitive. Team Texas is sitting there telling about we play volleyball together at home, and they actually did a really good job there. And this is when you see Team Texas winning, and behind the scenes, they said they won their game actually really quick. You guys were there, right?
Yeah, so they came both of the teams showed up seconds after we did. And I think Mom and I did the puzzle in about 6 minutes, and they probably did the volleyball in 4 minutes each.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, they were moving.
I think we played 2 games of volleyball.
Yeah, we lost our first game and played and won our second game.
No, both of them won their first games within 4 minutes.
Wow. So dang. So there's nothing you guys could have done. They not to be Texas, no.
No.
Wow. So this is where they show Bama and the Shacks working on the puzzle. Bama gets it, and we see for the first time the James Earl Seal clap.
I'm excited. Don't judge me.
No.
I love it.
Love it.
I love it. It makes you smile when you watch it because you're so genuinely happy.
listen, just half the time I just wanted the flu, and like whatever we could do, I was just like, thank God we're going.
No, but it's the cutest because like you could see when you do it, it's like at times that you're just so freaking excited to be getting your clue or to be moving on.
Yeah, you celebrate much cuter than I do. When I do it, it looks like
I'm like, do the justice.
I'm just having fun. I'm not trying to show off. So this is we see the seal clap, and then it cuts to the green team finally getting to the helipad, knowing we're in last place.
Justin's crying again.
I get into the helicopter and start crying again. I ask Christ the Redeemer for help, and we cut to the track stars who are finishing up, jumping in a cab, heading to the pit stop. The pit stop is the Paparazzi lookout. Team Texas is on foot. The track stars are in a cab, and they are like within minutes of each other.
You ran from the puzzle to the pit stop, right?
Yes, we did.
So I thought we had to stay in the bathing suits. It's like I thought it was a costume, so like we changed. I thought we had to stay in it. So we tried to get 2 taxis, and both taxis were like, "No, we're not taking you in bathing suits."
Wow.
So I looked at Mom. I was like, "We just started running then." So like we ran. It was like a 3-mile run. And
I had shoes on.
okay, that was our dumb fault. We didn't even put our shoes on.
So the big race ends with Team Texas winning, getting their express pass, feeling amazing from coming back from last place. And this is Josh's little quote, "Watch what we do." Of course, it doesn't look like he's bragging or anything because he's cute.
So cocky.
Yeah. He's just so cute.
Just so cute.
Yeah, only cute people can be cocky.
Yeah, you overlook that stuff. So we got Team Texas, they're winning, and then the track stars finish like 4 minutes?
4 minutes.
4 minutes behind.
Yeah.
4 minutes behind them. They cut to TMZ struggling with volleyball pretty bad, and that's when they decide to switch to the puzzle. And we see the Shacks finally finishing up the puzzles. All right, the dancers don't know the answer to the question, but they look through their notes and they get the answer, Christ the Redeemer, and we cut back to Shack Attack finishing in third. And Alabama, another one of my favorite lines of this episode, or favorite scenes.
Denise, did you put lipstick on? I don't know, pink. I got pink, right?
Let me tell you. Let me give me a little whatever he. I put it on.
She did put it on.
But I put it on that morning. I'm waiting for Maybelline to call me because my 24 Outlast, yes, it outlasted me. I put it on that morning, guys. Come on. Do y'all think I would stop and put lipstick on? Really?
The best part is you guys come with no shoes, but Denise is like, I got my lipstick on.
Oh, that's funny because we thought.
At one point in time, as we're running like these 3 miles, our cameraman even looks down and he's like, "How are your feet doing?" And we're like, "Oh, they're fine." And we just keep running. And he was like, I think he was trying to like clue us in to be like, "Put your shoes on."
So we got Team Bama finishing in fourth. The reporters show up and choose the puzzle. The cousins and the dancers are going head to head in their volleyball challenge. And the dancers are amazed at the foot volley skills. We cut to the cousins who seem to be struggling with the volleyball. The Paparazzi cut to Paparazzi who are playing volleyball. They finish up pretty quick ahead of the dancers and the cousins.
They look like they were kind of beasts. I wouldn't expect them to be volleyball players, but like when I went back and watched this episode again, they looked like really good. Like some of the moves they were doing, I was impressed.
You know exactly how to move on the volleyball court.
Yeah, you know, they're on the beach a lot, beach volleyball in South Beach. I would expect they play a little bit. But Chris was actually one of the most impressive. I think he was in amazing shape. He's the oldest guy out there, and he was in amazing shape. And that's when we cut to the green team, who get to finally get off the Christ the Redeemer, and we're outside, we're broke, we're standing in front of a taxi, begging him to take us for free. Take us for free to post for. And
we literally said, "Can you please take us here? We have no money." And they said, "Where?" And we told him again, and he said, "Okay."
Wow, that's great.
Lucky. That is really, really lucky.
I'm absolutely 100% know how lucky
I wanted
we
to
were.
write a thank you note.
If we can't find them.
I wanted to write a thank you note to like the cab company, but I couldn't find which cab company it was. I never saw that.
So we're going to have to go back and do a little research. I'm sure I'll speak to our friends over at RFF. You know, they know everything.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Because if y'all haven't been able to find a taxi, the clue didn't say take the taxi, right? Y'all could have walked, but I mean.
No, well, the walk would have been around that whole mountain. That was like miles.
I'm saying, but like, what other option do you have?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You probably, if you walked, you probably still would have beat the TMZ girls.
Yeah. I mean, 4 hours is a long time for us. Yeah.
There were a couple people trying to give us money, trying to say like, well, how much is it? Well, we're like, no, we can't.
We're not allowed to take your money.
We can't accept it. But
yeah, it was pretty cool. People that were there watching us beg for the taxi were going to give us money.
no.
But we couldn't take it. All right, so Chris and Logan finish in 5th. The green team is finally gets to the Detour. I am not crying at this point. I'm very excited. We choose puzzle first because I let Diana choose because I definitely made a bad choice the first time going for the fast forward. Diana chooses the puzzle. And we cut to the cousins who finished the foot volley, beating the dancers.
They did.
They were kind of beasts during that. I loved it. Like, you wouldn't expect them to be so good at it, but they were awesome.
They did better than us. They won the first game?
No, they won the second game, I think.
They were definitely better than
They
me.
did great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did great. And they beat the dancers. The dancers were kind of stunned at that moment. That's when we finally see the cheerleaders who are struggling. They get there and they're struggling to play foot volley. They're claiming to be athletes, but they're just a little too short to play volleyball, which I thought was great editing because it came right after the cousins one.
Yeah. That's why I'm like,
unfortunately for Tiffany and Krista, that was just really poor timing for them to have said that right next to that. Because I think after that point, too, they were even like, we're 5'0". And they had said it right after Alex was like, we did so great at that.
Yeah.
I feel bad for them.
Yeah, so they struggle. They talk about being athletes and being a little too short. So they switch to the puzzle. That's when we see the cousins finishing in 6th place. We cut to the reporters who are finishing up in their foot volley. And after we saw that, we were like, all right.
let's give it. I mean, we only spent probably 5, no more than 10 minutes doing the puzzle. And we had, I'd say, like 6 out of 9 pieces in the right spot. And after our camera guy had said that we'd given up too soon, he's like, why'd you guys give up? And we're just like,
I couldn't help. I just felt helpless.
So he said, you guys almost had it, but we gave up too soon. Oh, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah, we saw Adam and Alex win, and then we saw
just coming and going
the reporters
from
win.
volley.
So we're like, all right, we're just going to go over there. So we went and did that. Thank God that worked out for us. And that's when the dancers finally finish up their volleyball. They show cheerleaders and TMZ struggling on the puzzle. Dancers finish in 6th. That's when Enoch flirts with the girl, of course. Playboy Enoch. Always
really pretty.
Yeah.
Well, it's Brazil. What are you going to do? That's what you got to match.
She's probably just average over there. That's like average Brazil. That's not even a hot Brazil.
Yeah. But foot volley, I don't, they didn't make a point of showing it, but we were playing with a soccer ball. So to like hit it over the net is so much heavier.
Yeah, it hurts.
And it hurt. I mean, just
bruises on your arms. We thought you was like I got beaten over there.
One, the ball's heavier. It's harder.
And we played 2 games. And here's the thing: I played in the back, which means I received every single one of the serves. So it's serve.
Justin,
I'm like, oh my god!
I just like tried to touch it every once in a while.
My arms took a beating. That's for sure. But we finally got our win. We won. At volleyball, I did a little dance that people made fun of me for.
The only point I scored, I love how they edited it to make it look like I had the winning point.
Oh, you had the winning point.
I did score a couple, so whatever. If they edited it to be I had the winning one, that's fine.
As soon as we finish the volleyball, the reporters are checking in 8th at the mat. This is when we see Tiffany crying, but she gives one of her classic Tiffany motivational speeches, and they pull through.
I love the cheerleaders. Like, after rewatching this, and then after, like, now knowing everybody after the finale party, spending that weekend with you guys in LA, rewatching it and watching everybody's individual races, the cheerleaders were just, like, I just love them. I mean, one, the way that their friendship is, the way that they like talk to each other, the way that they motivate each other. But then I was watching too, like their dynamic of when like Tiffany is low, Krista's pushing her, and when Krista's low, Tiffany's pushing her. It really made me just fall in love with them. And then to see too that they had such cab trouble that their cab driver kicked them out. It looked like just for no reason is like a foreshadowing to later cab troubles with them, and just I felt bad. They got kicked out for no reason, and here we're getting 3 free cab rides places.
What Tiffany and Krista told us, like they just didn't like. He didn't like having the camera in the cab with them, and so he was just over it.
Wow.
And also, just for the record, this is what you heard just a second ago. Like it wasn't just one of us making a random noise.
Oh, that's right. It's macaroni.
No, he's so shy. He doesn't like the camera.
Oh,
That's Mama D's dog, Mac.
Yes.
so I love having a dog.
From Tiffany crying to Justin crying on the mat, finishing in 9th place.
No more crying, and then it cuts to Justin crying.
That's what I was making sure someone pointed out. He's like, no more crying. I'm just so happy to be here. I'm so happy.
But, we talked for like 10 minutes on the mat, and for the first like 5 minutes I was pretty strong, and then he kept digging, and I broke down.
He didn't even. Well, they didn't show it, but they didn't check us in. It just cuts to us him crying and just being like, "Oh, it's so crazy to be last." And
yeah, editing was pretty crazy, but it's tough the first episode.
It's hard to feature 11 people through a whole day's worth of race.
Well, then they should try to do an hour and a half.
Yeah, I think the first episode should always be 90
Or like
minutes.
a 2-part. Make it over 2 weeks, maybe. Or do a continuation leg on the first leg. And, some of what I missed about the race is how they used to do like the hometown intros, and they would come to your hometown. They would show,
That'd be cool.
Part of me as like a fan is I miss that old school style of how the race was edited.
I think it helps also make like the people on TV actual people.
Yes.
A lot of people look at us on TV and they forget that we're human beings. Like they see the like one-dimensional. It's like the gay kid, the cheerleaders, the Texas boys. Like you just become like flat people.
Yeah, like if they would have showed like our hometown things, it would have been, like you in a hospital, and people would be like, "Oh, well, I work in a hospital." But I think all of who we are was lost when they got rid of, those character building hometown intros, and it was probably to cut down on time. But that's what I love about the old seasons, is I love getting to see where they come from, how much it looks like where I come from. So
Getting to really know them.
Yeah. It's an easy way to character build in the very beginning, and I think that was lost when they got rid of it.
All right, so we're finishing it up here. We come back. Green team finishes in 9th, and we're down to the final 2. TMZ versus the Cheerleaders when it comes to puzzles.
Poetic justice. I think it was Kelly from TMZ. Earlier in the episode, they're like, I just want to know about that primping process. I think some people are here to look good, not do good, and they lost to them.
You know about their primping process, so you got to room with. Yeah,
you got to room with them.
You got to.
It's not that long. They just put a little makeup on, do a little head out the door.
I got like a 5-minute glimpse when Krista helped me put my fake eyelashes on. All I see is makeup. I love makeup too, but man, they have makeup. I'm like jealous of.
They have a lot of makeup. Bags and bags of makeup.
But I will say they look good. Like even in as they're racing, they still look good.
Oh, they do.
I look like I'm a dying rat half the time, and you look at them and they're like, they look good.
But know what my favorite thing was that Tiffany did? She put deodorant around her face, so sweat wouldn't fall on her face.
This is a cheerleader. Yeah.
Isn't it?
I always have my bandana, but that is a good secret. I like that.
I know.
So Kelly from TMZ makes a pretty funny comment this time, which she says, "I came to Rio de Janeiro and all I got was skin cancer."
See, if she could have said like that type of shade, I would have loved. I would have laughed my little tail off at that, because that was hilarious.
Yeah, and that's when we see Tiffany start to cry. Did we do it? We got it! And they finish in 10th. The Cheerleaders finish up in 10th. Poor Kelly and Siobhan, 3 hours and 45 minutes later, finally finishing up the puzzle. And this is...
Cry!
Yeah. Don't cry! Yeah, because you don't care. You don't care, Kelly. That's why you're not crying. Siobhan actually cared about the show. She cared about the game. She deserved a better partner. I'm sorry.
But you know what, though?
Kelly's a terrible partner.
I wish they would have stayed on a couple more legs so I can just hear the trash talk. Some of it's pretty funny. I had to laugh at some of it,
Yeah, some of it's funny.
Well, in hindsight, some of it's funny. Like when it comes to the primping process, too, like what I kind of caught on to is that that comment could have been made about the boys. You know, like they could have said, what's the boys' thinking process with like Tanner's hair, and you know, some of that stuff could be cut and pasted, but some of the stuff
could have been about Justin. Let's be honest. I mean, look at that hair.
No,
look at that face.
Primping process.
My primping process is okay. Oh, here you go. Here is now you see
this
why.
This is why he wears hats.
I wear hats. Look at this hairline. It's like a W.
It's like 2 little islands.
Like
it does.
It's terrible.
And then there's this. Yeah. There's just no fixing.
So stop making fun of my stupid hats.
Yeah.
All right, because it looks better than my damn stupid head. Okay.
Yes, it does.
You know, I did get to say though, I did reach out to Siobhan on Facebook and told her that not to worry when she comes to California. We're really not Norman Bates people.
No.
Oh. Yeah, that unfortunately that stuck quite a while. You eventually got rid of it, but that damn thing.
Like, here's the thing, like, it's just stuck so long. I was like, that's not even funny. If it was funny, I could have laughed, but it wasn't even funny.
Well, you didn't think it was funny, but other people did.
I do feel like it's karma that they never even got to like check in at the mat. Like they finished the puzzle and they didn't even get to go to the pit stop. So I felt really bad that they didn't even really technically complete a leg of the Amazing Race. So
I hate it for them.
Better them than us.
I'm
not done. I gotta put somebody.
My bad.
I have to put somebody in check for the first episode.
Sorry.
This is my thing. I'm putting people in check now.
All right, just
I'm putting Justin in check for the first episode because he didn't even let me speak. He just did the fast forward, and you weren't being a team player. And whether or not you were my team, like my teammate or anybody else's, I'm putting it in check.
Okay.
And you always got to try to defend his
I'm
actions.
not defending. All I would say is that...
No, you're not allowed to say anything. It's just, I'm putting you in check. This is why. And that's it.
Okay.
I'm loving this. Like, I love it.
You're in check, Justin. Let it go.
Overall, before we get to episode 2, overall thoughts on episode 1. What did you think as a fan watching?
As a fan, I thought it was a really busy episode. Like, I feel like they had a lot of stuff crammed into a little bit of time. So it was kind of hectic. I feel like living it was awesome, but watching it as a fan, it was kind of rough and it was kind of confusing at times.
Yeah, well, they never showed like when people. They didn't show people choosing which detour. They didn't show half the people checking into the mat. They broke up the intros like 3 different slots: intro, and then there's action, intro, and then action. So it was really different.
I can see why they did that. I feel like they wanted to show you show you who a team was, show you more of the race, show you another team was. But then, like on a linear level, I like to introduce me to all the teams so I can get a grasp of who they are before they even start anything. Like James Earl said, it's just a lot. It's like intros, it's beach running, it's starting line, it's bike race, it's helicopter, it's a lot. And for an hour, I think it was too much. So,
yeah, first episode should definitely be 90 minutes. As a fan, I think first episode would have been great if the green team would have won. I don't.
Let me put you in check.
Yes, I was going to say you are allowed to put him in check anytime, any place. If you find a nice way to say it, let me. Because I can't. I'm not going to kiss him every time.
I just got to say, I loved beating you that leg. Can I just say that?
Yes, you beat us. You beat us pretty good. I mean, and even if we would have got to the thing and went head to head, and you guys would have beat us because you rocked the freaking puzzle. So,
but then we would have ran our little asses to Arpador Lookout. So whatever.
We took sand from the beach in Brazil. That's like my thing that I do is I try to collect sand from places we go and beaches we go to. So I brought baggies and I was like shoveling handfuls of sand, and part of me is like, this is going to be heavy, and what if we keep going places? But
I carried it.
No, you didn't. You did not carry it. Maybe towards the end, but in the beginning, I did.
You carried on the power bars.
Y'all had the opposite stuff of us. Like after we raced, I was like, we don't need any of this crap. I was like emptying our backpacks, going, nope.
I was doing that for clothing, but I'm like, I got sand, I got this, I have a
40 health bars,
power bars or whatever.